So, you're setting up a home in the beautiful state of Nayarit, right? Well, getting the power turned on is probably right at the top of your to-do list. It can feel like a big deal, but don't worry. Today, we're going to break down everything you need to know about dealing with the CFE, Mexico's Federal Electricity Commission.
You found that perfect spot. But how do you actually get the lights on? Get connected to the grid. Whether you're building a new place, buying an existing one, or just renting, we've got you covered. This will be your step-by-step guide to the whole process.
So, here's our game plan. First up, we'll cover the basics of who CFE even is. Then, we'll dive into the two big ones, how to get a brand new contract and how to change the name on a bill that's already active. We'll also talk about what to do when the power goes out, and we'll wrap up with a super handy list of CFE offices right here in Nayarit.
All right, first things first. Let's get to know the one and only player in Mexico's energy game. Okay, so the most important thing to get right away is this. CFE is it. They are the only electricity company in all of Mexico. There are no other choices, no competitors. That means all roads lead to them, which makes it absolutely crucial to understand how they work. And they are huge, serving 46 million customers, and that number is growing by about 1 million every single year.
And just to give you a sense of scale, CFE's power lines stretch for nearly 1 million kilometers. That's enough to wrap around the entire planet more than 15 times. It really gives you a picture of how they are, quite literally, the central nervous system for the whole country's power grid. Okay, let's get to the main event for a lot of you new homeowners. Getting your very first electricity contract. This is all about getting your property and your paperwork ready to go. Now, before you even head to a CFE office, your property has to meet 3 key requirements. First, and this is a big one, there can't be any old, unpaid electric bills tied to that address. Second, there's a distance rule. Your place has to be within 35 meters of a CFE pole if you're in a town, or 50 meters if you're in a more rural spot. And last, your own electrical setup has to be up to CFE code. Now for the paperwork. And trust me, being prepared here is going to make your life so much easier. Quick tip, bring the originals and copies of everything. So you'll need an official ID like your passport. You have to have the full address, and I mean full, all the way down to the postal code. They can be really strict about that. You'll also need your RFC, which is your Mexican tax ID number. And finally, just have a good contact phone number and email ready to go.
So, what's the process actually look like? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Once you've got all your documents and your copies, you just head to your local CFE office. Pro tip, try to go early in the day to beat the worst of the lines. You'll fill out the forms there, make sure you take your time and get everything right. The contract itself is free, but you do have to pay a guarantee deposit right then and there. After that, you just wait. It's usually about 2 days in a city and maybe up to 5 days if you're out in the countryside.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about another really common situation. What happens if the power is already on, but the bill's in somebody else's name?
Yeah, this is going to apply to pretty much anyone who's renting a home or anyone who just bought a property from the last owner. Getting that electric bill into your name is a really important step, and luckily they have a clear process for it.
Okay, now what's cool about this is you can see how the required documents change just a little bit depending on your situation. Look, for every case, you'll need a written request, your ID, and a recent photo of the meter reading. But if you're renting, you bring your lease agreement. If you bought the place, you bring the sales contract. And in the sad event that the previous owner has passed away, the key document you'll need is the death certificate.
And hey, here is some really good news. Changing the name is totally free. There are no fees for this. You just need to be a little patient because it usually takes about 15 to 20 days for the change to officially go through their system.
All right, let's pivot to something a bit more urgent. The lights go out, it happens, right? So what do you do? Knowing how to report it fast is everything. CFE gives you a bunch of ways to report an outage, and they're available around the clock. The fastest, most direct way is just to call that 3-digit number, 071. You can also use their mobile app. It's called CFE Contigo. If you're on social media, you can shoot them a direct message on Twitter. And of course, you can always use their website portal or just go into an office in person during business hours. Now for some super practical on-the-ground info. Where do you actually go to get all this stuff done? Here's a quick guide to CFE offices right here in Nayarit. So like we said, 071 is your magic number for reports and service. There's also a national 800 number for more general questions. And for office hours, you can pretty much count on them being open Monday to Friday from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. Some spots might vary a little, but that's the general rule.
And here's a look at where you can find them. We've listed some of the main offices in the region for you, from Bucerias and San Juan de Abajo down in the Bay Area, up to the state capital Tepic, and even further north in La Peñita and Santiago. You might want to pause and grab a screenshot of this for later.
So to wrap this all up, what's the biggest takeaway here? Honestly, it's simple. Preparation is everything. The entire process with CFE, whether you're getting a new contract or just changing a name, it all comes down to having the right documents ready and the forms filled out correctly. A little bit of prep work is going to save you a ton of time and headache.
And there you have it, your guide to getting connected with CFE in Nayarit. We really hope this makes the whole thing feel clearer and way less stressful. Hey, let us know in the comments, what other essential, maybe a little bureaucratic, process of setting up life in Mexico should we break down next? Thanks for tuning in.